Hey, Tony Gas is here. Now, want to share with you 5 things you should never tell a man. Now, this topic comes from the research on the YouTube studio where it says this is a question being asked. So that's why I'm addressing it. Next thing I want you to understand is I don't have anything written down. So I'm talking to you from my heart. So we might not get to 5, we might get 10. That's another thing. And also, this is just the title of the video, but I'm going to speak to you holistically. Now, what you should never tell a man is, one, you never tell a man about your trauma. You take your trauma to a therapist. You go to a therapist. If you need life coaching in addition to therapy, to do something else like write a book or something, if your therapist can't do that with you, but you do not take your trauma, your pain, your past experiences, things you've gone through in the dark, things you went through as a child, you don't take that to a man. And when we say don't tell a man, what this really means is you're not telling a boyfriend. You're not telling someone that you're not going to spend the rest of your life with. And you don't know you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody until you're married and it's on the right track and it's going the right way. And even then, it's not a guarantee. And I want you to understand that as a man, yes, a man will try to force a woman to tell him everything. But as men, we learn how to accept what we are told when it is told to us. Meaning, I've been married for over 16 years and I'm still learning about incidents that happened in my wife's life, be it an eviction or something deeper. And at this point, it's not like I'm going to say, I'm leaving you because you didn't tell me you were evicted as a child X amount of times before 9th grade, or you were almost hit by a car, or you were bullied in high school. I'm just making up topics, not speaking directly about my wife for people who be nosy, but help you understand, when a man loves a woman, he will accept and receive her. The issue with telling a man your trauma too early and telling a man that's not going to be your man, that's not your husband, your trauma is he will judge you by it, and he may also use it against you. Now, yes, there are men who are great with this type of stuff, but that man is 1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 100. So take your trauma to a professional and do the work there. The next thing you never want to tell a man is how many men you have slept with. The reason being is because a man will never tell a woman how many women he has slept with unless it's like 0. Unless he's a virgin, 9 out of 10 men are going to lie. It doesn't mean that you have to lie to a man. But if a man asks that question, he's asking the question solely to use it against you. He's asking the question to paint a picture of you. And I remember in a coaching session, me and a client were talking, and she told me how many men she had been sexually active with. And I said, well, why is the number that number? And she said, because the first time that it happened, it was taken from me. It was against my will. So every other time that it happened, other than when I wanted to, like when I was in a committed relationship with her, when she was in a committed relationship with her boyfriend, she said the other times that it happened was because she was afraid that if she said no, the same thing would happen. So right in that moment, I learned that we can't judge somebody based on a number like that, because we don't know the origin story. We don't know the root cause of that behavior. We don't know what pressured them, or what they were feeling, or what they were taught, or what they were shown. So you don't want to tell a man how many men you have been with sexually. Even if it is 0, you can simply say that's none of your business. Women have to learn to be more assertive politely, meaning you can be direct and still be respectful and still be kind. And you can find a way to say it. If you know your accent or you know your personality, you can find a way to say, I would rather get to know you for you and not judge you by your past, and you not judge me by my past. And if a man is not mature enough and on that same wavelength, then he'll walk away. He'll say, well, hey, this is non-negotiable for me. It was great knowing you. Have a nice life. And go on about it. But one thing I can guarantee you, he'll only do that if you don't look like his wife, sound like his wife, move like his wife, talk like his wife, act like his wife. Meaning, if you are who he wants, he will adjust, he will adapt, and he will make exceptions that he has not made for any other woman that he's dated. The third thing you don't want to tell a man is your complete vision of what you want in a man. You don't want to read a man your script, is what I call it. If you go on a date and you do too much talking and you read a man your script, when you read him your script, he will pick the star role in your script, which is Denzel Washington in your script. Denzel Washington is the star. He will pick that role and he will play that role until you award him with an Oscar. And then he will drop you and he will go on to the next project, the next movie role. And you will be lost in the sauce, hurt and abandoned. Let a man show you who he is instead of telling him who you want him to be. Understand that. The fourth thing that you should not tell a man is y'all remember, I ain't writing nothing down. The fourth thing you should not tell a man is about your last relationship. See, the past is the past. So what you want to do is you want to tell this man when he says, so, have you been in a relationship before? Yes, I have. How many have you been in? None, really. I don't really count them like that, because if I'm single and available today, that means that they don't really matter. And, well, what happened with your last relationship? We didn't see eye to eye, and it just wasn't a good fit. What do you mean by that? I don't really know how to explain it. It just wasn't a good fit, and it's not something that I want to talk about. Past is the past. Notice how, and I want you to learn how I'm answering these questions in a very aloof kind of way. The thing, what it has been said that women speak 25,000 words a day and men speak 10,000 words a day. The person who speaks the less has the most power. So when you talk too much and you tell too much business, you set yourself up for failure. So what I mean by that is, if you take and you go through this whole scenario, well, and you say you and your ex-boyfriend, y'all were together for 3 years and he cheated on you and you forgave him. And then you caught him cheating again and you forgave him. And then you got mad. Y'all started fighting. He choked you almost till you passed out. But y'all went to counseling for 3 or 4 sessions, decided to work it out, got back together. You got pregnant. He forced you to get rid of it. Then you caught him cheating again. And this time it was with your ex best friend. And you bust out his car window. And so this what I'm telling, there are so many women, you'll be surprised. There are so many women who use the man they are dating as their relationship coach about their past relationship, as their therapist. Do not take love, your lover, the person you're trying to love, the person you're trying to get to know, the person you're trying to build with, do not make that person your therapist. Go to therapy, go to coaching, and don't try to dump all of your trauma and your pain, which we talked about in number 1, but this is a more specific example. Don't tell the specific details of your past relationship. The reason why is when you tell a man that you have had hands put on you and you stayed, now he knows he can put hands on you. That if he makes you fall in love enough and he gets in good enough with you and y'all get deep enough in the trenches, he could put hands on you and you can forgive him and stay with him. And he knows that you may be more likely to forgive him than your ex if he gets you in deep enough, because he knows you don't want to have to go through failure after failure after failure after failure. So a lot of times you'll put up with more instead of putting up with less. Now, some people, they won't put up with anything that next time after, but some people will end up putting up with more because they're like, if this is happening again, this must be normal. This must be a part of a relationship. This must be what happens. And if I leave this one, now I got to go back to my friends and family with my head hung low in shame, and I have another failed relationship. If you tell a man that you got cheated on and you stayed, now you have just told him he could cheat on you. And so the thing about it is he may not even want to be with you for life. He may just want to waste your time for a year or two. So although he knows you eventually left your ex, he's okay with that, because if you get the strength to leave him, he's already had you. He's already slept with you. He's already used you, abused you. He's already done what he need to do, got the money off of you for his business idea, lived with you for the time he needed somewhere to lay his head, borrowed your car for the time he needed a car. So by the time you get fed up and you say, well, I'm finna leave your butt too, just like I left my exes, he's like, good riddance. I'm done with you anyways. I'm ready to move on to the next woman. So do not talk about your past relationship. Don't talk about your ex with your next. Keep that now. The 5th thing you don't want to tell a man is really ain't nothing else really super pressing. So if somebody made a video on this, they had to sit down and come up with some topics. Of course, there's other stuff you shouldn't tell, but it's not earth-shattering. The 5th thing you don't want to tell is too much of your family business. Meaning you don't want to tell too much of your mama issues, your daddy issues, your children. If you have children, you don't want to tell too much of their issues and things they've gone through. So this still lumps in, but I'm going to separate it, because sometimes we'll look and say, well, I ain't talking about myself, but I'm talking about my mama. And I'm getting this off my chest. And I'm going to talk about how my mom was this or was that, or how my dad was this or was that. It still allows a man to paint a picture and to make a decision on you. But hey, this my wife calling me. I got to go. Those are 5 things you should never tell a man. Take care. God bless you.